live. There we go. What's going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, I greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. So, tough loss. But if you followed along and you've been part of these live streams or watched my videos, I've talked about how the Lakers, this is probably going to be a scheduled loss. So far, 2 out of the 3 games that I thought that the Lakers would lose have already passed, one of which they won, which was the Milwaukee Bucks game. And then this Indiana Pacers game I had on the schedule as a loss. Again, it's really hard to beat a team twice in such a short span. Not saying that it doesn't happen, but it's hard, right? And Indiana, they're a team that's high-powered, can put up a bunch of points. If you can't keep up offensively, then guess what? You're not going to end up you're not going to get too many opportunities to beat a team like the Indiana Pacers when you're struggling to score the basketball. But like I said, to me, this was a scheduled loss. I'm not going to go dive in too much and look into this too much. To me, it's how do the Lakers respond? What does it look like when they bounce back? Do they just fold and kind of or do they just keep pushing and keep pressing and close out these last 3 road games with W's? Right? 5-1 is great for any road trip, for any team. Even if they go 4-2, which is what I said, they bare minimum, they need to go 4-2. Right? That's what I said. It sucks. It hurts. It's frustrating just because of the position that the Lakers are in. Right? It's like, man, if Sacramento loses and the Phoenix Suns lose, which Phoenix is getting smacked right now, it's like, man, if those 2 lose, then all of a sudden we're only like half a game out of 8. I get it. It sucks, but you got to just keep trusting the process, unfortunately. You got to keep hoping that these teams continue to fold and the Lakers continue to lose. Right? Like I said, Lakers are going to lose games. It's going to happen. To think that they're going to go 14-0 it's not super realistic. Right? Like you're talking about like historical level runs. And I know teams, people look at a team like Houston and they're like, man, they're 10-0 and stuff. Yeah, like I'm not saying that double-digit runs don't happen, but also look at the teams that, for the most part, like half the teams that the Houston Rockets played, they should have beaten. Like they were bad teams. They played like the Wizards twice and stuff like that. So again, I'm not trying to take away from what they did. They did an excellent job, and they keep winning games. But for me, it's like, I'm fine. I'm like, if they go, it's the same thing. If they go, say they win 10 out of 11 and they win 10 straight, but they win 10 out of 11 and it's, 5-4 and then that one loss, then who cares, right? It's still the same result as 10 out of 11. So to me, it's what is the result as we continue to press, as we continue to go through these games. If we start, now if we lose this game and then, we follow this up with a loss to Brooklyn and then you follow the Brooklyn loss up to a loss to Toronto, now I would be a little concerned, right? But to me, it's like, hey, let's not hit the panic button yet. Let's see what the end result is. Let's see how this plays out. And then, just trust that the Lakers will have a bounce back game, right? No one really was super standout. No one was like super great. But let's dive into the box scores real quick, and then we'll jump into all of the super chats and all the regular questions. Again, appreciate everyone hanging out with me. Real quick, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But yeah, let's dive into it. So again, like, the leading scorer was Anthony Davis with 24 points. He didn't have 30, he didn't have 40, he had 24 points. No one besides AD cracked 20, not even LeBron, right? LeBron only had 16 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. He was 6 of 12 from the field, 50%, which is good, but he's 0 of 3 from 3. Rui was solid. He was 50% from the field, 14 points. You had Austin Reaves with 16 points. He was 7 of 16 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. Again, he keeps continuing to struggle. People keep telling me that I'm wrong, but this is now 2 games in a row where, again, I keep saying he keeps having these stretches. He'll have 2 or 3 games where he's shooting the lights out. Then he has 2 or 3 games where he doesn't. Again, inconsistencies, but what do I know? I'm just going off of the games that I'm watching, right? But nonetheless, my biggest thing is 5 turnovers, right? Him and LeBron combined for 10 turnovers. I mean, again, this is another example of Austin Reaves struggles with ball pressure. This game, they kept pressuring Austin Reaves, and he kept turning the ball over. He had like 3 sequences where he just dribbled it off of his leg, right? Because again, he struggles with that ball pressure, right? So now, again, it's frustrating, but and then D'Angelo Russell, he had his worst game in a long time. I mean, he had a bad game. 6 points, 5 assists. He was 0 of 6 from 3 and 3 of 14 from the field. Man, I don't even know if he's had a game that bad this season. This might be his worst game of the season, which hopefully, again, what does the bounce back look like? Was this just one of those games? No one really had a good game. Everyone shot poorly, right? Like, you only had 4 guys in double figures. You're not going to win a lot of games doing that. So if it's one of those things where, hey, just a bad game, wash your hands, be done with it, then fine. I'm totally okay with it. It happens, right? You're going to lose some games. You're going to have bad games. There's hiccups, right? To me, this was a scheduled loss. Again, I said it earlier. I'll say it again because we got more people here. If you followed the live streams, if you followed my videos, all that stuff, I kept saying the Pacers game, I'm putting down as an L. I thought that this would be a game that would be an L, and it was. But again, I don't think it's panic mode. I don't think it's time to start freaking out. I don't think it's anything like that. Again, let's see what the response is. Let's see what the bounce back is. Tough game, right? Just from everybody, but we got it. Gabe Vincent's supposed to come back for the Nets game. Hopefully that'll give us a little boost, give us a little excitement, at least an injection of defense. I'm not expecting great things from him offensively because it'll be his first game back, but at least defensively, can he at least, be a point of attack, be what we need on that side of the basketball. But nonetheless, let's dive into the chat here. Bad shooting night from the Lakers. There's nothing we can do. Yeah, it's just, again, it's games like this happen, right? To me, this was a game that kind of expected, right? I was kind of like, okay, this is probably going to be an L. Let's see. Why D'Lo is not doing his point guard role. He's always in off ball because that's just what they like to do for whatever reason. I don't know. I've expressed a million times that they should do that. Reaves has a lot of turnover problems. Yeah, he does. Turns the ball. Again, he can't handle ball pressure. People keep telling me I'm wrong, but every time we have a game, one of us ends up being right. LeBron needs to attack the basket more and stop jacking up threes. When he drives, he's unstoppable. I don't know why he doesn't take advantage of that because he's 70, right? I mean, if he was just putting his head down every possession, like he could do that when he was 27, but now, I mean, he talked about it in his podcast with, what was it, Mind the Basketball Mind, whatever. He said, I have to pick and choose my spots. I can't anymore. Like if I had to for one game, like sure, but he's like, I have to pick and choose. Again, he's in year 20. Nobody in the history of sports has done what LeBron's doing this year, like especially basketball. So, again, look, I criticize LeBron a lot for things, but this is not something that I can criticize him for. It's all good. We need to make sure we bounce back against Brooklyn and get another streak going. Exactly. That's my point 100%. What does the bounce back look like? What is the follow-up game? I'm not so concerned with this game. Sucks we took an L. Not my favorite, but what is the bounce back? How does the bounce back look? Reaves, D'Lo going 1 for 12 from 3 is unacceptable. If they're going to be below average on D, they got to at least shoot decent. We're never winning when they do this. Agree. Yeah. The offense has to be there. That's why I'm hoping like once we start getting our pieces together, right? Like our defensive pieces. Jared Vanderbilt is supposed to come back. I'll have a video up in the morning about the Jared Vanderbilt news, but Jared Vanderbilt's supposed to be back like middle of April or beginning of April. I mean, first week or week and a half of April. So we're like 2 weeks out from Jared Vanderbilt. Gabe Vince is supposed to be back for the next game. Hopefully then we can have some pieces. Come on, stop. Disappears when we need him most. Dude, he's been carrying all season. He had one bad game. Let's relax. God, man. That's such a bad comment. I'm sorry. That is so bad. Schedule loss, not too many thoughts. Yeah, exactly. Terrible game from everybody on the Lakers except for AD. Yeah, exactly. Rough shooting night. Got to win the next one. Agreed. Lakers transition defense needs a lot of work, which is why the Lakers have stopped trying to get offensive rebounds and have just focused on trying to get back on defense. Basically what it's been. We couldn't get a tear to drop last night. Yeah. Get rid of LeBron. Stop. You can't win them all. They had a decent looks, but they just couldn't make shots. Yeah, I mean, they had several opportunities to get back into this game. That I really thought, or at least I was hoping, that when Anthony Davis got that flagrant, I was like, ooh, if he makes both of these free throws, right? And if they hit, like they could have an opportunity to get this to like 4 or 5 with like that point, there was like 9 minutes left or whatever. I was like, whoo, here we go. And then he made the 2 free throws. We turned the ball over, and it was just, all right, there goes that hope. I was like, well, that was fun while it lasted. LA Ball Club next game. Let's have fun. Yeah, exactly. I'm not really thinking too much of it. We were never going to win shooting from three like that. I'm not worried. Yes, Lakers, Lakery. D'Lo played ass. Yeah, he was. This was a bad game from D'Lo. It drives me insane when Reaves gets tunnel vision. The amount of times Rui and AD or LeBron has been wide open, and he forces a shot, forces pass to LeBron. Reaves, LeBron is not your only teammate. Yeah, I agree. Again, it's why I've been so adamant about stop having Austin Reaves be the primary playmaker. Stop letting him be the primary ball handler. The only time he should have the ball in his hands is if he's getting ready to take a shot or you're giving him the ball to go be aggressive and score. Putting him in a position to have him try to go generate offense for others, it's not working. Not working. D'Lo sold this game, bro. His shot didn't look in rhythm at all. Looked rushed at times. Some even looked forced. Couldn't hit an ocean tonight. Shaking my head. If D'Lo was scoring the way he has been, we win this game. Yeah, I get it. But again, players have bad games, right? Like LeBron had 16 points, right? Like he was 0-3. No one had a great game, right? Don't get me wrong. This was a very bad game from D'Lo. Like this is probably the worst game I've seen him have with the Lakers this year. But again, bad games happen, right? He's not a superstar. He's not LeBron or AD, right? He's a guy that he's gonna have bad games. Still plays there. Yeah, exactly. Still plays him off ball while Reaves just dribbling, turning the ball over. It drives me insane. Insane. Keeping him as long as he did. D'Lo is so inconsistent. I know the playoffs, dude. Come on, dude. D'Angelo Russell has been money the last like 5 months, and he has a game like this, and now he's inconsistent. He's been arguably our most consistent player next to Anthony Davis this season, right? Like, come on, we can't. It's the pendulum swing. Let's stop the overreacting to one bad game. Like, relax. It happens. Our great backups for D'Lo's playoff collapse. Again, how do we know he's going to have a playoff collapse? He's had good playoff runs. He was great in the first 2 rounds. The only game that everyone points to is the Denver Nuggets game. But it wasn't just him. It was everybody. Like, how come no one points to the first 2 rounds? How no one points to, like, the Grizzlies series where he, like, single-handedly saved us? Like, we might not win that series. They look like they're about to tie the series if it wasn't for D'Lo. Again, I'm not saying D'Lo's going to be great in the play. I don't know. But he's taken a team to the playoffs by himself. It was solid, right? So like, let's see. My thing is like, let's wait and see with him. Everyone's just after one bad game. Everyone's like, oh, here we go. D'Lo's trash. It's like, dude, like he's played 60 games where he's been great. Like everyone, like LeBron has bad games. AD's had bad games. Like man, like let's take a break. Balance shot distribution, kind of odd. AD, Braun normally take way more shots than AD, 17, Braun 12. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was this game. Just kind of felt like they just didn't want it. Not a big deal, yes. I mean, D'Lo had a bad game. Honestly, don't give a single F of how he plays for the rest of the season. It shows me you're nice in the playoffs when it matters. Yeah, like that's my thing. He's got to show up in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. But my thing is like, let's wait and see. Everyone's just so quick to sell on D'Lo, right? Like it's been one game. No one was saying this the last few games. No one was saying this when D'Lo had 44 against these guys. Like, you know, again, let's wait. Let's be patient. D'Lo had, yeah, thank you, Sam. So D'Lo had one bad game and people were ready to kill him. Shooters are gonna have it every night. Hopefully they come back strong in next game. Exactly. Like, if he plays the next 5 games like this, then sure, flip on him. But it's one game. Yeah, this just felt like a very awkward game. It felt like they just didn't take good shots. They didn't play the way that they did in the previous 2 Pacers games that got them the win, playing that inside and out. LeBron and AD on the block, flowing everything, playing through them. I just felt like this is a good way to put it. Lakers kind of look gassed, right? kind of looked like a game where the Lakers just didn't. D'Lo had a bad game, but do people here really think he wasn't due for one after how he's played the previous few games? That's what I'm saying. Like the guy's been lights out for like literally like 3 months, and even like missed the game and came back and was great. And it's like, man, like cut the guy some slack. Tyler knows nothing. He is a normal man. I've been saying this for years now. But what do I know? I've just been watching the videos. I'm just a man. Thank you, Buck. That's why I always count on you. Our whole team inconsistency from threes can't just be blamed Reaves, even though he's not as good as people make it out to be. No, I don't think it's all. I mean, nobody was shooting threes well. I mean, everyone was bad. Hey, this was just a poor offensive game from the Lakers. It's that simple. Like this just was not a good offensive game from the Lakers. But again, to me, it's what's the bounce back? What's the bounce back? I just feel like Cam Reddish should have been in there for AR and D'Lo. They both look terrible and was not helping on defense at all. I don't know. I mean, I get it, but I mean, Cam Reddish, how much of an impact was he going to have? Like, I don't think he's changing the tide of that game, right? Because again, you still have to score. You still have to be able to score the basketball. Like we could, if they have even if they, let's say their lead is 3, and let's say we stop them from scoring a single bucket the rest of the way. If we don't score a single bucket the rest of the way, then it doesn't matter. We still lose because we're down 3. You know, so I don't know. It's just one of those things. Lakers are not winning a championship this season or next, and people need to accept it. We will see. Don't speak it in definitives. It's a good way to make yourself look silly. Let's see. I'm not excusing Braun at all because his turnovers are beginning to me off. But his turnovers tonight were literally triple teams. Reaves was just throwing ridiculous passes half the time. Just trash. Yeah. Like I don't like the turnovers because it's just a lot. Most of LeBron's turnovers are just careless turnovers, right? It's just like him trying to force the issue, or it's him just kind of throwing a lazy pass. But again, I just think that this was what I thought it would be, which was a scheduled loss on a bad night in a bad game. The Lakers need to get to their spots when they penetrate. Many times gives up fundamentals to settle for tough looks. Yeah. They just didn't play the way that they've beaten them the last few times. Why did Kevin Garnett say we need to trade Braun and keep Reaves and Rui for the future? You think we should trade for a third star? What do you think? I mean, Kevin Garnett. I mean, look, Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce are always throwing subtle jabs at LeBron. It's their rivalry, right? Like, I'm not going to put too much into it, but Kevin Garnett's like whole logic was like, you're probably not winning a championship. Hit the rebuild button. But to me, I don't know. Like, there's an argument to be made if we're being honest for that, right? Like, keep the young pieces and see how it goes. The problem is like our young guys aren't that young, right? Like Rui and Reeves and stuff, they're all 26, 27, right? Like if they were a bunch of 22, 23-year-olds, then it's like, yeah, sure, because you could spend the next 3-4 years kind of rebuilding, retooling, and then maybe be a contender. But it's like if you do that, now all those guys are in their 30s, and it's like, maybe you have a year or two. So to me, I just think you're better off if you can get a third star, you get a third star, right? Like if you have the opportunity to get a third star, you do it. Otherwise, you go get the pieces that you need. You need a legit 3-and-D guy. Go get a quality center. Preferably 2 3-and-D guys. Like just examples, but like if they could have gotten like Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal, perfect, right? Because now you got a legit starting level 3, a legit starting level 2, guys that can play on ball. You could go, like D'Lo, Royce, Dorian Finney-Smith. Sorry, Blake, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, right? You go get a backup. It just, to me, if you can get that third star, you get it, because that helps for now and post LeBron James. It depends on the star, though. I don't think like you get a star just to get a star. Like I'm not super sold on Trae Young, if I'm being honest. I mean, if it happens, I'm not going to be like upset about it. But like to me, it's like it just depends on what it is. Like if it's like a Donovan Mitchell, sign me up, right? If you can get a Donovan, Dallas implodes and you can get a Kyrie, something like that, then yeah, go get that. But if it's something where it's just it's just you're getting a guy just to get a guy, then no, I don't think you should do that. Yeah, bad game on the road, it happens. Exactly. Exactly. Uh, Getting sloppy. Yeah, I mean he's always kind of done that. He gets in these like turnover modes. Um, let's see. Reaves played okay, did his best to contribute, and I am the biggest critic. This is a regression game for the Lakers. Hopefully, it does not continue the rest of the season. No, I don't think it will be. I think look, I've been saying for like 2 weeks now that like I thought that this would be a game that they lost. It lined up perfectly. It made sense. I said the Bucks and the Pacers, and then one of the Cavs or the Timberwolves games. Right? We stole the Bucks game. Beautiful, right? Just lost the scheduled loss, in my opinion, in the Pacers game. You bounce back. You beat Brooklyn, Toronto, and the Wizards. Right now, you got that 3-game homestand, right? Where your first games are the back-to-back against Cleveland and Minnesota, right? You lose one of those. You can't lose both. You lose one of those. Now you only have 2 losses. You bounce back against the Warriors. Was it the Warriors, the Grizzlies, and the the Warriors, the Grizzlies, and the Pelicans. You win those 3 games, boom. Now you're in the season. You went 11-2 during that stretch, and the Lakers are in good shape. So that's was kind of my play out. Let's see. Yes, Blecka, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Greatly appreciate it. They got the next 3. Agreed. He who drinks chocolate with Dr. Pepper has no right to speak on LeBron. LeBron eats Reese's and he drinks Dr. Pepper. So me and him are one and the same. We're twinsies. Let's see. D'Lo played like, and I'm frustrated right now, but it doesn't mean I think he needs to be traded. He needs to leave. Yeah, I mean, look, I understand the frustrations, right? Like, we have every right to be frustrated. That was a terrible loss. I have no issues with being frustrated or disappointed in this game, but to me, it's like, let's wait and let things develop. Let's wait and see how things play out. Let's see. Did you ever consider how many minutes and games Reeves has played in the last 5 games and the whole season, offseason as a whole? You're always critical on Austin. The whole team is inconsistent. No, I criticize everybody, but Austin Reeves, he's played 2 years, right? And he made those decisions, right? If he needed to take a break, take a rest, don't play, take a week off, whatever, right? He's in the games, he's taking the shots, he's turning the ball over. If it's that bad, just, hey, can I come off the bench, coach? Right? My legs aren't in it. My whatever, right? Like, come on, that's a lame excuse, right? Austin Reeves is good. I praise him. Even in the last live stream, what did I say? He had a horrible shooting night, but man, he got after it on the defense side. When Reeves deserves praise, I give him praise. I hyped Austin Reeves up like he was the second coming of Michael Jordan. Literally, go watch the old videos from the offseason. I was talking about Reeves like he was good, like he was the truth. Like he was, man, he's the savior. He's the great white hope. And he's been disappointing. Like, criticism is not hate. People are always like, oh, you hate on Austin Reeves. Being critical of somebody, I'm critical of LeBron, critical of D'Lo. I said, this might be D'Lo's worst game as a Laker this year, right? Like, criticism is not hate. People need to distinguish the two. I get there's people that think Austin Reeves is the next Kobe Bryant, but he's not. He's not. He is who he is. He's a great player. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's not been what we need him to be this season. He has not been consistent on both sides of the basketball this season. No one to this day has been able to disprove anything I've said. Anything. Everyone just says, oh, you're too critical. What am I critical about that's wrong? If I was being too critical, I'd be making stuff up, or I'd just be pointing out flaws just for the sake of pointing out flaws. Me saying he had 5 turnovers today that were careless turnovers that were bad is not good. Him shooting inconsistently and not making threes is not me hating on him. There's a big difference. There's nothing wrong with criticizing people. Just like people criticize me, it's part of life, right? He's an NBA player. If he's not good to go, sit, right? He hasn't missed a game yet. If he needs to take a week off before the playoffs to get 100%, then fine, do it. Whatever it takes. But come on, we can't just be like making up excuses for players being bad, right? I'm not making up excuses for D'Lo. He had a bad game. He had a bad game. He did. He had a bad game. He's been consistent all season. If Austin Reaves was in D'Lo's position and D'Lo was in Austin Reaves' position, guess what? I'd be critical of D'Angelo Russell the way I have been with Austin Reaves. But he hasn't been. One guy's been consistent all year. The other one hasn't. Like, again, tell me where I'm wrong. This is what happens when you spoil the fans with great wins. They expect too much. LeBron needs to get back on D instead of crying on the ref. That drives me crazy too this year. He has done that. I mean, he's always kind of done that, but he has done that more, I feel, this season than he has in so long. So long. Like, he just, every time he gets to the basket, he's just like talking to the refs, and they're in transition the other way. Like, come on, man. Trade D'Lo, start the rebuild. Let's see what else. They should. It's unrealistic, but they should try and go after KCP this off. I said the same thing. I don't think it'll happen, but you got to at least put in taps, right? Like, if Denver, for whatever reason, doesn't want to pay him or anything like that, if you can work something out to get KCP, I agree, 100%. You got to at least try. Worst thing that happens is he says no, or he re-signs with Denver or whatever. Best case scenario, maybe you end up stealing KCP from Denver. That would be huge. So we'll see. Time will tell. Let's see. The Lakers need more off all screens and actions, or more off ball screens and actions. The defense was loading up on every player. Yeah, it just seemed like a game that the Lakers didn't really even try to play. Like, it was weird. Like, they didn't. You had the blueprint to beat them the two previous times that you guys played, and it's like they went the opposite. Like, it was just really weird this game. Siakam is such a bad player. It's not even funny. I don't care what anyone says, bro. It's not good. Worst play style I've seen. Mans didn't even have a single mid-range until the fourth quarter. Let's see. Lakers are coming into form, just a bad shooting. That's all I think it is. Like, really. Yeah, everyone was trash. This was just a bad game. Again, they happen. Bad games happen, right? Like I said, I've said it several times. What does the Nets game look like? If we play terrible again, now it's a little start concern, right? Like, but if we bounce back and we get the win, you're gonna lose games. It happens. It's part of the game of basketball. No team has ever gone 82-0, right? You're gonna lose some games. You're gonna win some games, right? The whole idea is you win a lot more than you lose. Well, so far the Lakers have won a lot more than they've lost. They just need to keep doing it. Again, ignorant ham. Come on, putting on point guard. Reaves as point guard and Dinwiddie just a spot up shooter. Stupidity overload. Mr. Ham, I'm tired of your stuff. Just put in start zero defense. Yeah, I screamed about this enough. Like, it drives me absolutely crazy. The way he just utilizes some of these players. All elite offensive teams have nights like this. We're lucky he's scheduled next 3 so we can bounce back into form. Exactly. I'm right there with you. I think they put the ball in Reaves to score, but he gets clamped. Then he forced a pass, make turnover, which is why I don't think he should. The problem is, like, they make him the initiator, and then he has to decide whether he wants to be aggressive or he wants to pass. I don't like that. There's nothing wrong with giving him the ball and letting him go get a bucket. And then if it breaks down, then you figure it out from there. But the problem is like, he just has the ball from the jump, and then he's usually trying to like oversell a pass, or he's just gets tunnel vision and tries to shoot. Where instead, what they should do is have, like I said, a Spencer Dinwiddie on ball, or a D'Lo or whomever on ball, and then Austin Reaves is playing off ball, and you get him into his spots. You get him the ball into his spots. So he likes to get to like that free throw line extended, right? So you run some action where maybe he's the screener or, he's diving towards the rim. And if they don't collapse well enough, or you can feed him the pass, then now he's got the pass where he likes it. He's one or two moves and he's getting a bucket. He's getting a shot. Or if, let's say, he gets the ball and they collapse, well, then you have the easy outlet right there. You just kick it back out and reset. Like, those are the kind of things that I'd like to see them do more with Reaves, rather than like, here's the ball, go figure it out. Like, I got to say, as a Braun fan that has migrated fan bases, I've never seen anything like Laker fans. I will say that they get seen as the bad guys when really they just care a lot. No, I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with caring, right? Like, that's why I don't like, I'm not like, oh, fan base is terrible, blah, blah, blah. No, none of that. Like, I get it. We're passionate, right? Fans are passionate. Like, my thing is I just try to like keep expectations coral, right? Like, we don't need the pendulum swing, right? Like, D'Lo had a bad game. He was awful this game, without a doubt. Terrible. Again, worst game in my opinion that he's had as a Laker this season. But that doesn't mean like, oh, he's trash. That's it. He's going to be terrible in the playoffs. He's going to be this. Oh, he finally sold in a game that we needed him to win. What about the other 10 games recently that we've needed him for to win? Like, why was this game more important than the others, right? Like, it's just, again, it's like, my thing is just it's the pendulum swing. It's just trying to keep everyone like, hey, let's let cooler heads prevail. Let's wait and see. Let's let things pan out. D'Lo's been our best point guard, yeah, without a doubt. We got Super Chat. Guys, coming out with $5 Super Chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Lakers played like they were the second half of a back-to-back, just having played. Yes, double overtime. Yeah, that's one thing AR can work on to take the next step. What's one thing AR can work on? Okay, well, first off, the first part of it, I do agree. Like, I felt like it just felt like this was they can just have it game almost. I don't like that given the circumstances, right? If we were like the 3 seed, I'd feel a little better about that. But still, like, again, I get it. It happens. Bad games. Wash your hands. Be done. Move on. Bounce back against Brooklyn, right? Okay, I can live with that. As long as they bounce back, no harm, no foul. We're good. As far as Austin Reaves, he definitely needs to work on, I think, ideally 2 things. He needs to work on his ball pressure handle. So, like, literally all summer long, he should just be working on his handles, working on his dribble while somebody is pressuring him. He needs to work on, when he gets contact, being able to still dribble through, be able to fight through that contact, not turn the ball over, not lose the basketball. Got to work on his handles. That's something that'd be very important. And then his vision, right? Which there's some people that are just born with the vision. That just have the natural vision. See a lot of guys, they just seem to have it. Austin Reaves, he at times can have it. He needs to learn to see like this rather than just like this, right? And again, you do that through reps, you do that through drills, you do that through all offseason. To me, I like his on-ball skill set. He needs to work on that. Right, he has the off ball. He has, like, when he's being aggressive and looking for a shot, he's got his little, behind the back thing. He's got his like little, 3-move bag. But to me, it's more so like his handle, right? It gets shaky at times. Needs to work on bettering his handle and having more control over his handle. So that way, when he does get contact, he's not just losing the ball and flopping and and then waiting on the ref. He can take the contact, fight through that. And then, because he's great at taking the contact through the gather, right? You'll see, like, he'll dribble, he's driving, boom, he'll take the contact, and he's able to finish and has good body control. It's just when he's dribbling, he doesn't have that. So when somebody's in his chest being aggressive, bumping him and being physical, and the refs are just kind of like letting the minimal contact go, he struggles. And then he turns the ball over, or he has to collapse and he has to give the ball up. Right? He's got to learn how to do that. So for me, work on the handles and work on the vision. Work on if you're going to be on ball. Right? Now, maybe that changes if Darvin Ham is fired and we get a new coach. Maybe a proper coach goes, hey, it's not that. Then in that case, just keep working on the intangibles, working on your feet. Right? Work on your lateral movement. Right? Again, there's plenty of drills to work on and advance your lateral movement. work on your lateral movement. So that way he can do a better job of staying in front of guys. I don't need him to be elite defensively. Just be serviceable. Don't get killed every possession. That's it. So if he's going to be more on ball, fine. He needs to work on the skill sets necessary to play on ball. If he's going, if you get a new coach and he's going to play more off ball, then he needs to work on, just basically the defensive side of things. Because outside of that, him off ball, obviously the shooting, I'm hoping this year was just a bad year for his shooting, right? And he kind of bounces back. It's my hope, right? Again, I can only criticize him for this year, right? I'm not saying, last year, I only know what I know this year. We only have the information that we have right now, right? We can't go off of things that happened in the past. We can't go off of things in the future because, again, those are different seasons. So to me, Austin Reaves has been fine playing as that off-ball, scoring option. So it just depends on what's the plan for him next year. But those are the things that I'd work on. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, guys. Portland is dog water. Maxey had 5 points at a loss. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it happens. Guys have bad games. Right? I play basketball. There are nights that you just feel playing, but you got to run. It's normal to have one bad game out of 10. Exactly. Lakers have been fantastic, right? Like, let's let things play out. Let's see. Does 3 games count as a streak? What 3 games? What do you mean 3 games? If you're talking about the Lakers' previous games, they were on a 5-game win streak. You had 44 against Malik Beasley. No hate, though. Yeah. Let's see. Nugget series was the most important. That shit was atrocious. Like, he got played off the court. Plus, that was the last playoff series, so that's what we remember. Let's say, yeah, he do for the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, it's recency bias. You're going off the most recent thing. And again, like, why is that more important than the first two? Right? Because you don't get to the Nugget series if it wasn't for the Grizzlies series. You don't get to the Warriors series if it wasn't for the Grizzlies series. You don't get to the Denver series if it wasn't for the Warriors series. Like, every series is equally as important until you lose, right? And guess what? They lose. But, okay, like, let's say D'Lo played great. Like, what about everyone else? Where was LeBron outside of Game 4? Right? Where was AD in Game 1 and Game 3? Right? Like, where was Rui Hachimura's dominance and hot streak? I mean, outside of Austin Reaves, and that's which credit Austin Reaves, he was fantastic. He averaged I think like 20. I think it was like 27-5 or something like that, or 25-7, something like that. 20 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, something like that. He was really good. He was great that series. But where was everybody else? Like, people act like D'Lo, like we only lost because of D'Angelo Russell. Like, if D'Lo was anybody else, we would have won. Where was Dennis Schroeder? Where was Lonnie Walker? Where were all the other guys? Right? Again, D'Lo was atrocious. I'm not trying to say like D'Lo doesn't deserve criticism for that. Absolutely, he deserves criticism for that. But people want that one guy to blame. People want to just point and go, oh, it's because of D'Angelo Russell. We only lost the Nuggets series because of D'Angelo Russell and nothing else. We didn't lose because we couldn't close. We couldn't lose because we allowed them to get to 15-point leads every game. You don't get swept because one guy didn't show up. You get swept because one team was overall better. And Denver was just overall better last year. It sucks. It hurts. It sucks. But it's the facts. You don't lose because of one player. And if he was playing 48 minutes and took every shot, had the ball in his hands 100% of the time, then yes, blame only him. But he didn't. Like, where was everybody else? Like, how come no one else showed up? How come no one else played? How come we weren't able to close when we had leads in that series or when it was a tight game? Like, again, D'Lo wasn't the one taking all the clutch shots, right? Like, again, and he had a foot injury because people are always like, well, LeBron was hurt and AD was hurt. Well, so was D'Lo. D'Lo missed games going into the playoffs. D'Lo had an interview saying if this wasn't the playoffs, I wouldn't even be playing right now, right? Like, so again, it's not just because of D'Lo. And look, I'm not saying it. Maybe he's trash. Maybe we get to the playoffs and he's dog water, right? Like, it's very possible. I don't know. But there's so many people that just assume that they know. So many people that are like, oh, D'Lo's going to be awful. And it's like, relax. Like, let's wait and see. Because he's had seasons where he's been great in the playoffs. He's had seasons where he was the best player on a team that led a team to the playoffs. Right? To me, I'm just willing to wait, let things play out. So many people think that they know. Like, I know D'Lo's going to be bad. I know D'Lo's going to be trash. Right? Or they just want to point at one person and blame them. We didn't lose the Denver series because of D'Angelo Russell. We lost the Denver series because they were just better. Right? D'Lo's been as D'Lo, LeBron, and Anthony Davis have had the best seasons that they've had. D'Lo, the best season he's had his entire career. LeBron and AD have had the best seasons that they've had in like 5 years, right? And we still can't beat Denver. Is that because of D'Lo, or is it just because maybe Denver's just better? It sucks to say, but maybe they are. That doesn't mean that they can't win. Doesn't mean that that they can't overtake them, but. Let's see. But he has to do this in the playoffs. He's had years like this in the regular season, and then playoffs disappears. Yeah, again, I agree. Like, he absolutely has to have it, and that's my thing. You just have to wait and see for the postseason. Exactly. Like, let's see. My thing is, I don't. It drives me crazy when people act like they know. Like, oh, we know D'Lo's going to be bad. Like, first off, if you're a fan, why are you rooting for the failure? Because if D'Lo's bad, guess what? The Lakers probably aren't going anywhere. Like, why are we rooting and wanting and expecting D'Lo to be bad? So what? We can go, we were right. Like, to me, it's like, no, I don't want D'Lo to be bad. I want D'Lo to be the best player he's ever been. I want Reaves to be great. Right? Like, that's what's so frustrating. That's why I'm so disappointed in Reaves this year. Right? Because it's just like, dude, I had such expectations for you, and it turns out you're not that guy, and that's fine. Right? But I need to make the adjustments. The problem is some people have still believe he's that guy, and it's like he just hasn't been. Maybe he will be next year. I don't know. I'm willing to wait and see. I'm only criticizing on what we see at the moment. I only have the information to go off of right now. I don't have information on next year. I don't have a crystal ball, and I'm like, ooh, okay, so D'Lo's going to be trash in the playoffs. I don't know. That's my only thing. Like, let's just wait and see. If we finish the road trip 5-1, we still got a chance to move up to 8th. Phoenix down 20 right now. I know, which is what it hurts that Phoenix is probably going to lose this game, and there's a good chance Sacramento loses this game. So it's like, oh man, it would have been nice to win this game. But again, I get it. It happens. Let's see. Tough loss, but overall, I've been impressed with the Destiny Lakers. Has the recent stretch changed your opinion on him? You still want a new coach next year? Yeah, I do. Absolutely. Like, he's had moments where he's been better. But overall, we have enough of a sample size to know, like, I just don't think he's it. Right? It doesn't mean he can't get there at some point. I said this, maybe it was the last live stream? I don't know. It was one of the recent live streams. But I said, like, if we were a young team, right, that was like just, we didn't have LeBron and AD. Like, we were just a young team that was just trying to grow and, kind of go through our hiccups. I would be totally fine with keeping Darvin Ham. Right? Like, let's see what he can be. Let him grow with the team, and let's see if he can kind of figure stuff out. Right? But my problem is like we don't. If our mission and our goal is to win now, then we got to get a coach that better gives us the opportunity to win now. Right? Darvin Ham, maybe 5 years from now, he's the best coach in the league. I mean, even guys like Eric Spoelstra, people were screaming for him to be fired. LeBron was going to Pat Riley telling him, this is the worst coach I've ever played with. He's trash. Get rid of him. And now he's looked at as the best coach in the league. Right? It's very possible that Darvin Ham is excellent at some point. Maybe he goes to a young team after the Lakers, and then 5 years from now, everyone's like, man, the Lakers should have kept Darvin Ham, right? I'm open. I don't want to see him fail. I want to see him succeed. I just think with the current roster and the current team, I was very defensive of Darvin Ham for a very long time. But after a while, it's like, okay, clearly he's not what we need for the situation we're in right now, personally. But let's see. if we end up losing in the play-in and get eliminated from the playoffs, then you better do a 10-hour live stream explaining how this is the most disappointing team in NBA history. I don't know if this is the most disappointing team in the NBA history, but it would definitely be a very real disappointment. That's for sure. Trade Tyler to the Clippers. Our True Properties franchise. All right. Bro, the way Tim planks on Ham is so funny. Yeah, I like. I've said it before. I really like Tim. I would love to like do like like as guest appearance, whether it's on his thing or mine, because I just he's very analytical. He's very like you know I think there's a lot of similarities. I think it'd be a fun conversation. And there's like some things that like I disagree with him with on sometimes, and I'm sure that there's things that he would disagree with me with on times. But I would just love to like have like a real sit down talk conversation. I think he's like one of the few people in the space that I'm like, man, I'd really love to just kind of pick his brain, right? Because also he played college, right? Like he's very educated in it, and I'd love to just kind of even just learn from him, like learn some. I'm sure there's plenty of things he could teach me in this space. So no, I'm always willing to expand, right? Like not perfect. There's lots of things that I want to get better. I want to do better, right? I mean, even from a quality perspective, got the new mic, got the new camera. I had to get some like little like connector things because some things were off, right? But now everything should be good, smooth, right? I want to improve. I want to be better. Like I said, I want to keep learning. So he's one of the guys that I look at and I go, man, like I feel like I could learn a lot from him. We had the hardest schedule this year, man. What the F is the NBA doing? We had the most back-to-backs, and we had, I think it was the fourth toughest overall schedule, something like that. Bro was full of Christie there. OKC first round, Pep second round, and Clips Suns somehow beat Denver, and Chip is ours. I don't care about anyone else. FX. D'Lo decline is coming with it. Donovan Mitchell has been quietly having the best year of his career. That's actually very true. I think he's second in steals, and his stats went up. My thing is, how do you acquire him unless he says he wants to part one? Hang on, let me find the other part. Here we go. I think we get Trey because he will be cheapest because the other stars you might have to haul the whole team to acquire. I think Kyrie obtainable if Dallas has an atrocious playoffs. Part two. So, sorry, I just saw the next comment is Lee's come. So first part, right? Donovan Mitchell you're right. Defensively, he's having the best season of his career, which is crazy because coming out of like Louisville, like he was looked at as a defensive guy. He was a defensive specialist guard, right? And he developed into this like scoring guy, right? But defensively, man, he's been fantastic this year. Like he's been very good this year. Like I would give up whatever we have to give up to get Donovan Mitchell, like genuinely. Now, as far as the second part to that, which is actually acquiring him. So yes, you're right. The only way we actually acquire him is if he wants to come to the Lakers. Because if he's like, I don't really care, then there's like 10 teams that could outbid us easily, right? So though I wouldn't count on Donovan Mitchell being there. However, supposedly, again, everything's rumor until it's true. So always take it with a grain of salt. But supposedly, he wants to go to a big market. It's either the Knicks or the Lakers. If the Knicks decline, then he's going to the Lakers. Now, again, I don't know how true that is. We'll see. I'm sure more of those reports will come out once we get to the offseason, and we'll definitely talk about it. I'll definitely cover it and give my thoughts and opinions and takes on it. But yes, 100% you're right. The only way that we genuinely have a shot at him is if he goes, I want to go to the Lakers, right? Or he basically says, like, I'm not going to re-sign anywhere but the Lakers, right? Then it's that point, right? Lakers would be in good shape there. Now, as far as having to give everything up, it depends on the star. So if we trade for Trae Young, yes, because he's making like 43 million next year or something like that. Donovan Mitchell, basically Rui, Reaves, and like Jalen Hood-Schifino essentially get you to Donovan Mitchell's money. So we basically could get there. So we could do like Rui Reaves, 3 firsts, Jalen Hood-Schifino, and like Maxwell Lewis, or if they want like Max Christie or something, Max Christie. Although I'd really like to keep Max Christie if we can. So we can get there. Same thing with like a Kyrie if Dallas, because again, there was actually several reports that were like, hey, Dallas is not really super sold on this Kyrie Luka tandem, and that they may look to move him in the offseason. If that's the case, then I actually think the Lakers, I think it's very likely, like extremely likely, that he becomes a Laker, because I don't see very many teams signing up for Kyrie Irving, just like last time. So I think it just depends on the circumstances. I'm sure we'll know more and see more when we get to the playoffs, or the off season. Sorry. But as for Trae Young, I do think out of all the like superstars that we know of right now, because you never know in the offseason, 1 or 2 could become available that we're not even thinking about right now, right? We'll see. I think he's probably the most obtainable, yes. But one, Atlanta doesn't have to trade him yet. Like Atlanta could hold on to him for I think like 2 more years off the top of my head before he can get out. So one, is Atlanta willing to trade for him? But also, I'm not super stoked on Trae Young, right? Like he's a very like inefficient shooter, right? Like like when he's on, he's brilliant, right? Like he'll single-handedly go win you a basketball game, right? But I've also watched enough of him play where he'll single-handedly shoot you out of a basketball game. He's also like one of the most highest usage players the NBA has ever seen. Like he constantly has the ball in his hand. So it's just like, how does he fit with LeBron? Like, I don't know. Like I would be excited. And if it works, good luck. Right? I mean, imagine like at that point, like just put your 2 best defensive players alongside Trae, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. You got enough scoring. Right? I wouldn't even care if our starting 5 is like Trae Young, Cam Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Right? Because between Young, LeBron, and AD, you're going to be able to score 120 points a game, right? So I do think, and for Anthony Davis's sake, I think Trae Young would help a lot, but I worry about the defensive liability. I worry about just like his fit, his usage. There's just a lot about that. But again, we'll see. Time will tell. We'll know more as we get there. Stakes coming out $2 super chat. The leash is too long on. I'm assuming you mean AR or D'Lo. Look, if I'm being honest, I think Darvin Ham has a leash too long on several guys. If I'm being honest, I definitely think there's multiple players that he just keeps I guess a little more, right? And it's like, no, you need to be pulling it back, not letting it out. So I do agree that Darvin Ham has quite the long leash on some guys, but don't trade Rui. His size is too valuable. I would love to keep Rui. I have talked heavily about keeping Rui. I mean, I want Rui to be a Laker forever. A couple things about that though is one, you got to give something to get something, right? Like you're not realistically going to be able to get a guy like a Donovan Mitchell as much as Rui's size is great, he's not Donovan Mitchell. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is ridiculous. The other big thing is as long as LeBron's on this roster, Rui's never going to be able to play the proper position, right? So it's like, how long is Rui going to be okay with either A, playing out of position, or B, riding the pine? And, and the Rui, it's like, just as a fan of Rui, I would love to see him get a real opportunity somewhere else. I really think he could be a 22 to 25 point a game guy, like genuinely, like very reasonable. Right, if he's given the real opportunity on the right team in the right situation, properly slotted, I think he would be great. But we'll see. Time will tell. But I appreciate your stakes. All right, let's power through a couple more questions here. This was the comment I was laughing at earlier. Tyler Big Cat Brown never drinks that joke. I'm gonna have to put together a compilation and post it. Hate. The Great White Hope. Let's just get these next three facts. I'm right there with you. All right. Tyler. Oh, come on. Why isn't it? Tyler, you are right. You were calling Austin an all-star. I was hyping. I'm telling you, I was hyping. Again, I don't delete stuff. Everything is there. I don't believe in deleting stuff. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I was wrong about Austin Reaves this year. It sucks. Like I have a pretty good reputation of being right more times than not. But Austin Reaves was one of the things that I missed on. I thought he was going to be competing for an all-star. I said in those videos that I didn't think he would actually be an all-star because, you got like SG, it's just guard heavy in the West. But I thought he would be an all-star caliber player. I thought he would be giving you, 20 to 25 a game. I thought he would get more comfortable. If he gave you the same efficiency, the Lakers were going to play him in a bigger role, which they have this year. I was like, they give him this. If he gives us the same efficiency he had last year and the same level of consistency, he's going to be a 20-point a game guy at least. Like I thought Austin Reaves was going to be clear-cut our third best player. I thought he was going to be like the guy for the Lakers. And he hasn't been. It sucks, but it's the fact. Yeah, I was talking about Austin Reaves. Tyler said Kendrick Nunn was going to be good, and Kendrick Nunn proved you wrong himself. Well, that was because of injuries. That was the injuries really set back. But I thought he was going to be too. Yeah. D'Lo has a good vibe and chemistry, but damn, his performance is like witnessing a solar eclipse. Yeah, he was bad. Very bad this game. He should have gotten taken out sooner. Yeah, everyone believed in Nunn. Dude, we were literally campaigning because we were like, oh, this is it. We get a new free agent. I mean, like the media was hyping him up, like because he was really good before. Yeah, he was the truth coming out. He was really going off every practice. Yeah. He was the guy that we all thought was going to be brilliant, and unfortunately, we should go for Garland. He would cost less. Problem is like if they're probably still going to have to trade Donovan Mitchell unless Donovan Mitchell says he wants to stay, right? Then maybe you go get Garland because Garland and Mitchell, like they've already kind of talked about like, hey, they might have to trade one of those two. I would love Garland. I'd be okay with Garland. However, they're not going to trade Garland if they have to trade Donovan Mitchell. Like if Donovan Mitchell is available, then like they're not going to trade Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks and then go, okay, well let's trade Garland now to the Lakers. Like it's not going to happen. Well, never say never, but it would be shocking, right? Like it's going to be one or the other. If they keep Donovan Mitchell, then it's very possible that Garland becomes available, and maybe the Lakers can go make a play and a push for Garland. I would love Garland. He's still extremely young, ton of potential, ton of upside. He can be good. He's not Donovan Mitchell, don't get me wrong, but he could be very good. So we'll see. Like I said, we'll know more in the offseason. Guys, coming out with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. If you could have one basketball power, what would it be? You can only pick one. Best handles, best shot, best vision, off defense, best in the NBA, equals best in the NBA. So that's a tough question. It's a good question. So like I'm in the movie like Mike. I could throw the shoes on, but I can only get one of the powers. Probably shooting, especially in today's NBA, because like if you're the best shooter, right? Like if I could shoot like Steph Curry, I would definitely have a spot in the NBA because I'm like not 6'1". I was listed at 6'1", but I'm like 6 foot, a little over 6 foot. So like I'm height of like a guard. So if you could give me just like shooting, like I'd be fine. Put me on the bench as just like a designated shooter. Bet, say less. Let's do it, right? Pay me the bucks that the NBA players make shooting, because I just think shooting, like, given my size, my stature, like my abilities, like I think, right, if I had like insane handles, like that's not going to get you to the league. If I had insane defense with my size and my height, I would still be limited, right? It'd be great, but I'm probably not going to get in the NBA just on defense alone. vision, like if you don't have the handles and you don't have the shooting, you don't have everything else, then like vision is great. I mean, I have terrible vision, as you can see by the glasses, but like, it'd be cool not to have to wear glasses, I guess. But I actually like wearing glasses, personally. So yeah, it would have to be shooting. Like shooting would be the one way for me at my height to be able to get in the league. If I was just Steph Curry level shooting and just shoot the lights out, right? There's plenty of guys in the league that just literally make a career just on shooting. So I like give me shooting. Shooting, I think I'd be in the league if I had like that elite level shooting. So I was watching the highlights the other day, and I forgot D'Lo had a poster. I'm like, yo, yeah, which is wild. Hands for feet. I go, he's doing it on 2K. Turn everything up. At least the Suns lost, yeah. D'Lo himself has admitted he's jealous of his fellow players because 2 left feet and a lack of vertical. Yeah, I mean, he talks all the time about how like he's the slowest guy in the league, and I'm afraid of the Nets, to be honest. The Nets handled us last time pretty easily. So, yeah, the Nets can definitely beat us, but I think the Lakers will handle business. And I was just gonna say that, and then I saw the comment, so I was like, oh, let me let Jaden say it. Spencer Dinwiddie's revenge game. That's my hope too. Like genuinely, I'm hoping that Spence, let's go homecoming, let's get it, and I'm hoping Darvin Ham gives him the opportunity to do so. But all right, let me just do a couple more questions here, and then I'm gonna skate on out of here. Because I want to try to get a video up before it gets too late on this channel. Pacers own the Lakers. Like Andrew said. That's adorable. You're adorable. That Nets game won't be easy. Dennis Schroeder will want revenge on D'Lo effects. Yeah, there's a lot of fact. Now that I think about it, there's a lot. I didn't even think about that one. I didn't even think about. Good notice, Nick. Yeah, the talk between D'Lo and Schroeder. Ooh, that's gonna be good. Let's see. I like yeah. That's what I always think is what it is. Everyone's like, "Oh, Lakers shoot threes." Lakers are the shoot the fewest threes of any team in the league, right? When you shoot 40 threes, you're not going to get a bunch of free throws. Tyler, what are some players the front office should try to get this offseason? My main target, regardless of possibility, is Valanciunas, Hartenstein, Grayson Allen, KCP, Royce O'Neal, etc. So, to be honest, I haven't really dived in heavily on all the available players. So, because some guys qualify for extensions, some guys will probably get extensions. So, I haven't like trenched through it to. Oh, that's a good stretch. Hang on, 1 second. That's a good one. Oh, that felt good. I haven't really trenched through all the names and stuff like that yet to see if who it is. Like the names that come to mind are mostly the ones that you've mentioned. Valanciunas would be solid. Same thing with Hartenstein. Although I don't think Hartenstein leaves the Knicks. I really don't. I think he's happy. He found his home. I know a couple guys have options this year, so we'll see. Once we get into the offseason, because I like to just focus at one thing at a time. So that way I have all the information about it. But Royce O'Neal, KCP, you at least got to try. Mentioned it earlier. You got to at least make an attempt on KCP. Can't get him, you can't get him. No problem. But if you can land KCP, I mean, chef kiss. Royce O'Neal be another great option. But if we could get a defensive 3-and-D guy, and then get me defensive 3-and-D guy, and then get me like a center, a Valanciunas, a Hartenstein, somebody like that. I think we're in the money. Genuinely, I think we're in the money. But great question, Jaden. Let's see. We got another super chat here. All right. I think I'm going to end the stream here with the super chat. Unless another one comes. If another one comes in, I'll answer it. But Stakes. Max has been better than Cam since training. Yeah, I like Max Christie a ton. I am super high on Max Christie. right? Like I think he has potential to be great. Um, will he be like a top 5, top 10 player? I don't know about that, but I'm saying like I think he could be at worst a legit 2-way 3-and-D shooting guard, small forward in this league. I mean, he's already showing the signs. He's already looks like he could be that now in the right situation. It's just the Lakers with their talent, with their roster, the position they're in. Like if we were a younger team and we weren't trying to like win a chip right this season, then I'd be like play Max Christie 40 minutes a game. Max Christie is the one guy I don't want the Lakers to trade. Like I don't. I really want them to keep Max Christie. I don't want them to let him go. Like to me, obviously, yeah, no one's untouchable. I've talked about that heavily. I don't believe he's untouchable. But if you can keep him and go get like a Donovan Mitchell or something like that, just using an example, um, then yeah, you keep him. If you have to trade him, then you have to trade him. It is what it is. But he's the guy that I think if we trade 5 years from now, we look back and go, oh man, like darn it, like we should have kept that guy. Like that's the guy that got away. Like I think he could be. I think he has potential to be special. But we'll see. He's still incredibly young and has a long way. I mean, you could literally sit him the next like 3 years, and he'd still be younger than like everyone on our team. So he has a long way to go. His time will come for sure. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna skate on out of here. I want to try to get a video up on both Laker channels, the Laker Show channel and then on this channel before it gets too late. So it's going to take me a little time. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. Seriously, thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Again, I get it. It's a tough loss. Sucks. It hurts. But it's not overreact. It's not overblow it. Right? We'll bounce back. We'll be good. But anyway, let's get back to Sunday. Hopefully Gabe Vincent is back like he's supposed to, and we'll be in good shape. But anyway, appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys all on Sunday.